Good morning, Raj in Canada. Good morning, Jesus Nicho, and welcome to our group in Colorado. Roxana in Lima, Peru, Glenda in Lima, Peru, and Marisol Gonzalez where?
In Lima, Peru.
In Lima, Peru too. Specifically where in Lima?
In Lima. Yes, San Isidro.
But no, but it's San Isidro, not Lima. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to make the quote. Well, good morning, everyone in Facebook Live too. Today is the 6th of December and it's our 34th International English Online Meeting. Today we have Glenda Gallardo from Peru, and she will be talking about Blackboard tools. First of all, as usual, let me share my screen. So as I said before, is our 34th international meeting. If somebody wants to read this, please, I found this in Google and I love it. Please, anybody wants to read?
Yeah, can I do that?
Please, Jesus.
A gratitude practice. Close your eyes. Focus on a blessing in your life. Something you're thankful for. See an image of this blessing in your mind's eye. Offer a silent thank you to the person or object of your blessing. Relaxed into the feeling of gratitude. Take a deep breath. Feel more gratitude.
Thank you so much, Jesus. And you know what they say? The latest brain research shows that 6 doses of feeling 30 seconds of gratitude daily will enable your neurons to fire together and wire together around gratitude within a mere 2 weeks. So this means
you more easily and frequently access the feeling of gratitude.
thank you very much, Roxana. Yeah.
Nice, very nice beginning. Very nice.
Yeah, I found it in Google, and Google knows everything. But the important thing is that we need to feel it, not only know it. And of course, share it. Okay, next week, we have our next guest from Argentina, Eugenia De Losa. She'll be talking about what teachers learn to master during the pandemic. And then to finish all our presentations, we have our panel discussion, professionalizing English language teaching in Peru with these 6 good friends of mine, Karina, Isabel, Leticia, Arturo, Julio, and Enrique Liñán. And this is a photo I found, Glenda Guillermo.
Look at that.
There are so many photos. We've been together in different IOTEFL, international conferences, and also in Peru TESOL. And we went to have dinner in Larcomar, I guess it was 2 years ago.
Yes, that's Pardo's chicken in Larcomar.
Yeah, you remember that, and you remember how much we paid.
Of course.
Okay, let me say a few words about Glenda. Glenda is an ELT presenter and has been teaching English for over 20 years. Currently, she works at Universidad de Lima and Universidad Peruana de Ciencias Aplicadas. Glenda holds the CPE and the TKT. She has a language teaching degree from IPNM, UPCH, and has finished her Master TEFL studies at FUNIBER. Her research interests focus on teacher training, autonomous learning, and educational coaching. So this is our friend Glenda Gallardo. Welcome, Glenda, and thank you very much for your time and your presence.
Thank you, Jaime. Yes,
thank you.
That's true about me. Yes, and well, I want to thank you all for being here on a Saturday morning. Yes, a Saturday. What am I saying? Sunday. My head is on Sunday. So, and sharing, because this will be a moment to share. I'll share, you'll share, and together I expect, and well, no, why expecting? Just let's see what goes. I mean, what can we co-create with this information that I'm going to share, your knowledge and my knowledge, because all of us know something, and we all have something to share, and we can always learn. Yes, keep learning. That's the idea. Okay, so let me share my screen. I'm going to start with this. Let me see. Well, the title, I think, says a lot. As you can see, I will talk about my Blackboard, which doesn't mean that what I'll show you is just for teachers who use Blackboard. Yes, because this can work perfectly in other platforms. But basically, I will talk about from my experience, because I've been using Blackboard for 4, 5, 6 years, and well, doing it online, 100% online, 4 years. So it's about my Blackboard. And well, it's an ecosystem, yes, by the way. And so I will talk about the tools and the activities that I use in my classes, and hopefully that is going to give you also ideas that then you can implement in your lessons. So Jaime said something about myself, and I think that's very important. We cannot begin a class, a workshop, anything we do without knowing a little bit from the people that are with us. So I'm going to invite you, yes, to do something in the chat box, yes, very, very quickly. And in the chat box, we are going to put a hashtag, yes. So if you have the keyboard near you, if you have your telephone, find the hashtag, and you have to tell me something about yourself, except that you are a teacher. Yes, for example, I'm a Star Wars fan. Yes, did you know that about me? So now in the chat box, yes, very, very fast, something about yourself, apart from being a teacher, who are you? Yes, so hello everybody, chat box time. Okay, let me see if I can see my chat box. I'm yes, very nice, Marisol. Yes, I see. Okay, and that also helps to connect with others. Yes, so maybe somebody else here. It's granddad, grandma. Yes, I'm okay. I'm annoying. Okay, you're a grandpa. Hashtag. Can you find a hashtag? Just for the sake of using the internet and to feel that we are working on a platform, and to just like, okay, hashtag something, yes? As I did, hashtag what? Yes, hashtag something. So this is a very quick activity, and also just to raise awareness that we are in a virtual environment, yes? So hashtag what? And I'm a grandma, yes, 3 grandsons, very nice. I'm an oldie, happy grandpa. I'm at this out of my webpage. You know, my eyesight has got worse. So I'm struggling to read your notes.
Too many Blackboard tools, Glenda.
Too many. Yes, that's one of the COVID-19 things that now I need to change classes, definitely. Yes, okay, very nice. So I'm a proud son out of 5 siblings, I think. Yes. So this is
the second.
You're the
I'm
second. Oh, that's very nice. Excellent. Very nice, Roxana. I'm a family man, says Tito. Okay, very nice. So we have like an idea and an image of ourselves that that goes beyond just being a teacher. Well, not just, but I mean, we are not just teachers. We are more, a lot more. Yes, and sometimes I'm a dreamer. That's so sweet, Emily. Yes, I'm a dreamer, of course. Why not sharing this kind of things? And very quickly, yes. So you can use this hashtag thing at the beginning of a class to ask your students, how do you feel today? Hashtag happy, hungry, I don't know, whatever, because I mean, everybody is different, and then you have a lot of ideas, or you can recycle something you did the previous day, maybe. Okay, so
Lovely
that's it.
icebreaker.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And following, thank you, Roxana, following Jaime's idea, which I also agree and love very much. As I was mentioning, we are, in the end, we are human beings, yes? And we have this poem, which I really, really like, which is Just Like Me, yes?
Mm-hmm.
So this person has a body and a mind just like me. And that's you, that could be your students, anyone really. This person has feelings, emotions, and thoughts just like me. This person has experienced physical and emotional pain and suffering just like me. This person has at some time been sad, disappointed, angry, or hurt just like me. This person has felt unworthy or inadequate just like me. This person worries and is frightened sometimes, just like me. This person will die, just like me. This person has longed for friendship, just like me. This person is learning about life, just like me. This person wants to be caring and kind to others, just like me. This person wants to be content with what life has given them, just like me. This person wishes to be free from pain and suffering, just like me. This person wishes to be safe and healthy, just like me. And the last line, Roxana, can you help me read it, please?
It's covered with a blank frame there.
Oh,
I can
gosh.
see it. Yes, it's covered with
Okay.
something.
All right, let me see. Okay. Now?
No.
No? Okay.
Okay.
Now I can see it. Can you?
Yes, this person wishes to be happy, just like me.
Mm-hmm.
This person wishes to be loved, just like me.
Yes. So that's you and me, all of us. Yes. So we are human beings at the end. You're just like me. I mean, who hasn't felt like this at some point in our lives? So I feel very connected to you, to your struggles this year as a teacher, as a human being. And as I said, this morning I want to co-create with you. So there will be lots of moments to share what you think. And please do let me know you want to speak. Perhaps Jaime, you help me, please, because I have, right now I have sight of just one person on the screen, but you see everybody, don't you? So you
Yes,
can
I
tell me
will.
this person. Okay, yes, with your
Yes.
magic eyes, you have, yes, you can see everything. So you let me know
With
if
my
anyone
little
wants.
small,
So,
with my little tiny small eyes.
of course, of course. Okay, so this is the agenda. So this was just an exercise to connect with you. And this is what I have planned for today. So I have these 5 things. First of all, knowing our learners. And this is about my philosophy, because I think like what we do it has to do a lot with what we believe in. Yes, so this is based on what I believe and what I have experienced, because that's also based on experience. Yes, we do the things we do because we have tried them out, because they worked for us or because they didn't, but we learned something. So this is based on my, I don't know, principles, but on my beliefs, I guess. So I will talk about knowing our learners, fostering student-centered instruction, feedback, and then I will give you some final tips, my conclusions, and the questions and answers will go on and on through the session, hopefully. Okay, you set. I like that attitude. Thank you. You see my glass of water. I always have this. especially when I give conferences because I'm doing all the talking sometimes. Okay, all right, so let's get started. So I believe that that we need to know our learners. Yes, it's very, very important that we know who we are working with. And can you see? These are my students. Who are they? But when you, I mean, when they come to the classes, I mean, you just see a face, you just have maybe a name, but that's not enough. Yes, we need to know who we are working with. And from the first day, from the first class, I believe that we need to do something to get to know them. Yes, and not only like tell them, okay, please tell me about yourself, but we have to give them an example. Yes, we have to show, I mean, to introduce ourselves first. How can I ask them, okay, just say that, first time, first class, first minutes, and they haven't even heard about myself. So this is an activity I do with all my classes when we start. I put 5 things about myself, 5 things that are important to me. Yes, so I have, for example, my family, IPNM, Avocado, Marlboro, and Puerto Maldonado. Now, I invite you in this moment to try to guess, why did I write IPNM? Do you know what it means? What does it stand for? Why did I write Avocado? Why Marlboro? Why Puerto Maldonado? Why my family? So any volunteers?
Are you proud of your family?
Very proud. Yes, very good. Yes, very good. Thank you, Roxana. Okay, so that is done. And any other guessings?
You love avocado?
I love it. Absolutely. It's my favorite fruit. Yes, thank you, Marisol. I love it. I can eat it every single day and I don't get tired.
I eat it every single day too, Glenda. Yeah. So yeah, we have that in common.
You see? Who would have thought?
Glenda, hello, Glenda. Were you born in Puerto Maldonado?
Oh, it would have been so, so beautiful. No, I wasn't born in Puerto Maldonado, but
Your
maybe
boyfriend.
I belong to Puerto Maldonado. Maybe.
Your boyfriend was born in Puerto Maldonado.
No.
Puerto Abandonado.
No, he isn't. Oh, no, no, no. No, he doesn't. He's not from Puerto Maldonado. But
it is your favorite place?
Yes, believe it or not, yes, maybe people, I love Cusco very much, but Puerto Maldonado has a connection. And it's like, thank you, Emily. Anybody else? We have Marlboro, IPNM.
IPNM is where you worked, where you studied, Glenda? Maybe your institute?
Yes.
Yeah, it rings a bell. It rings a bell in my head.
Instituto Pedagógico Nacional Monterrico.
Right,
yes,
right. I was
there
thinking
to
of that.
become a teacher. Yes, point for Marisol. Yes, 2 points. Yes. Thank you. And Marlboro, I don't know if it rings a bell or maybe it doesn't. Many ideas? Do you give up?
No.
Look at this. Look at this beauty.
Did you study?
I worked in sorry, yes, I worked there. So this is a map, is in the UK, yes, and I traveled to Marlboro to teach Spanish. I know this photograph is very small, but here it says buenos días, buenas tardes, buenas noches. This is my classroom.
Wow.
And this is one of my groups. So I went to the UK to teach Spanish. It was an exchange program. And this is the British Council, thanks to the British Council. And well, this is what I show my students at the end of the activity. Yes, so this is my family. I have 2 siblings, my dad, my mom. I have a pet dog. It's Christmas time. Look at him. And this is a photo of me and my colleagues, my friends, my sweet, loving friends from IPNM and Avocado. And well, this is in Britain, and this is Puerto Maldonado. I love Puerto Maldonado, as I said. Yes, okay. So that's something about myself, and that's very personal, but I think it's important that we make this connection with our learners, that they can know about ourselves. After doing this, it's like inviting them to also share about their lives, share personal things. And I ask them to do this in class, but it depends on how many students you have, because the more you have,
yeah,
you won't be able to listen to everybody. And that's very unrealistic, unless you want to, I don't know, let's put it in maybe harsh words, but waste time. I can't be listening to 60 people, to 30 people, to 85. I don't know, I'm exaggerating. Who has a class of 85? Don't you? No, you don't. Okay, so anyway, so I just invite some people. Some of them are very open to speak in front of a camera, because I ask them to turn on their cameras. In Blackboard, we don't have this thing like in the Zoom that you can see all of them simultaneously, the 28 or everybody. We just see them like in fives, and then if you don't share a screen, again, another 5, but you don't get to see everybody. So I just invite some people to do this, and then they introduce themselves, and then they have like an example. But that's not all. The activity does not finish there. After that, there is, and this is my Blackboard, there is a forum. And in this forum, I invite them to make a video. Yes, because I work a lot with videos, and they have to make a short video, and they have to introduce themselves. And as this is a forum, they have to like read other posts, yes, and reply to people, yes. So that's very, very, very useful. And then they have the chance to meet their peers, because that's what I believe, that we need to create a community. I think that it's very important that they feel that they belong to a group, that they have real people and who are studying with them. And I do all this for the sake of community. I try to create a community in my classes. Yes, so I think it's very powerful that they have like a forum or something where they can share something about themselves. So here are the instructions. Yes, this finished in September the 11th. You will participate in a forum where you will make a video telling us a bit about yourself. Yes, the video should last 1 minute, 1 minute 30 maximum. Yes, and there they go. Yes, they start making this video, apply to each other. And Blackboard, you can do this. As you can see in my menu on the left, well, I created this area so that they could do this. And then they participate and get to know. They have a time limit to post the video, and then a couple of days. Usually I do this from Monday to Friday, and then they have like Saturday and Sunday to reply to 2 people. And I check this. If I had my first class on Monday, then I check this on Wednesday, and I show them, okay, 5 people have posted. You can now answer to these people. Don't repeat people. And I also participate here, and I give them my short comments. I show them, it's something short. Yes, it's not like, oh, what am I going to do? What am I going to answer? And I also don't want to encourage copy pasting or translating things. So something short and sweet. Nice to meet you. I have a pet too. Yes. So, and they sometimes make videos and they don't have to use YouTube. They can use their Google Drives. As you can see here, I always ask them to share their videos. Could be in a drive, or they can make a video. And of course, I also make my video to show them, okay, I know they have heard me and seen me, but I need to show them. I also made my homework, and I made my video too. Yes, I made my video. Yes, so I also did the task, so they can like maybe in a way feel that, yeah, the teacher also makes videos, and it's not like difficult. Why not making a video then? Yes, and okay, that's it. And so what do you think? Any comments?
No, I think, may I, Glendita? I think
Sure.
that's it's a very interactive thing, and then you start making them feel part of like you said, a community, because and then they feel more engaged and more motivated to really participate. I think that's because it's very important to feel part of a community. You're not isolated, you know.
Yes, that's what I believe. As I said, this is based on my beliefs, and I believe that I feel that it works very well teaching online. As I said, I've been teaching online, fully online, for 4 years, and I have found out that when they feel a sense of belonging, the connections are better, the communication is better, because they know they are working with I mean, there are people there. It's not just like you join a class every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then that's it. No, there are people, and with this, then it's very easier. I don't know. I feel that it works easily to have a WhatsApp group with the student, to have their WhatsApp group, and to find ways to engage with their peers. Yes, and to do some pair work, and to start finding connections in the class.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, I think then the classroom becomes relational rather than transactional. You know, I just go there to learn something. I just go there to pick up information. It becomes more relationship based.
Absolutely. Yes. So I believe in community. That's why I say know your learners. I have to know my learners, and I find ways to know a bit about them. And when I say know your learners, it's not only knowing about their families or about their hobbies or what they do in their free time or what they like or don't like. I mean, know your learners. Yes. And this idea, I don't know if you have read. Have you ever come across this book, which is called the six Principles in English Language Teaching? It's a book in TESOL that I the first time I heard of these principles, I said, yes, that's what I do. It's my book. Why didn't I write this? Yes. So this is the first principle, is that know your learners. But I have taken it deeper, because here they say know your learners, and they talk about this, and then they separate it in another principle. But I have integrated this know your learners and everything, because we have to know our learners, but also know how they are coping with what we are doing in class. So we need to know also their progress. We need to know if they are, I don't know, maybe they understood everything, what quotations, or maybe they are in their way to understanding something, or maybe they need to redo something. And I do that. If I see that something is not, I don't know, it was not productive, or I feel that I should do it again, I redo it. I mean, it's my class, it's my students, my context. So if I have to redo something, I do that, because I see that they need to do that. Yes. So I always check their progress. And how can I check their progress? How do you check your progress with your students? Can you tell me some ideas? And then let's see if we have a coincidence here, and maybe I learn from you as well, and maybe we can share. I will take notes.
Anybody, please?
Everybody's in the toilet.
No.
Where are you guys?
Could you repeat this? I have some connection problems.
Oh, but I can hear you. I don't know. Would you like to share? How can we check our students' progress?
I make a game, a board game.
Yes, so do I. And I love Kahoot. I love Kahoot. And some people say, no, quizzes. I don't know. I know how to use quizzes. I have one quizzes, but I still love Kahoot. Yes. So I do this to know my students. I play games with them, but it's not like every class, yes, but maybe when we finish a unit, they know that this end of a unit means there will be a Kahoot. Yes. And so this is one way to get to know them. And you can give them brownie points. Yes, food. No, it's just like additional points, of course. Yes.
Right.
Maybe 1 point, I don't know, in the week, I don't know, or depending how many students you have. Sometimes I choose like half the class will get, I don't know, 10 points because we work at, well.
Sorry, Glenda.
I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, no, Jaime, I think you have something to say. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you, Roxy. That is new for me. Brownie points. Sorry, that is new for me. Remember, I am 57.
Well, brownie points is just another way to refer to extra points. I call them brownie points.
There is no reason why brownie, yellowish, orange.
No, if it wasn't a real class, what I used to do was to buy these ole ole chocolates. Those were the brownie points. Yes. So the brownie points were my, okay, so the winners, okay, you get your ole ole.
Treat.
Here you are. Yes, a treat for having won.
I give my students dollars.
Come up, please. Yes. Well, I'm not so wealthy.
Glenda, I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
I use Quizlet to review vocabulary. They love it. Because I play it like in a competition in groups, but I really do not know how to use Kahoot. I use it face-to-face, but I don't know how to use it online. I don't know if you can help me out with that. Face-to-face, yes, because everybody connects from their devices, so that's good. But online, I don't know how to do it.
Yeah, what we do when I do this online is that I share my screen. Yes, I have to share my screen where the Kahoot is. Yes, and everybody see it. Everybody sees the code, the ID that they receive, and then the screen. You have to share the screen, and you have to tell them that they have to look at if they are playing from I don't know, an iPad or a telephone, to keep an eye on my screen and also their screen. Sometimes when they play from their laptops, they will need to open another window and be changing. And that's why some people don't like Kahoot for online. But my students are used to that. And maybe the first time that, because not everybody knows how to play Kahoot, you have to like teach them. Yes, okay, now open this screen. Can you see that? And just check. Spend some time checking that they can see it and they can do it. And then they will just like get on with it. And
one last question. How many people can play Kahoot at the same time? Because in Quizlet, it's like many. I have 30 students. I had 30 students last semester, and Quizlet was great, but Kahoot didn't allow me to have many people playing. Is that so?
No, because you see, I have, well, last semester I had 28, and the 28 joined perfectly.
Okay, I'll try it again. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, I don't think there is a limit, or I don't think they would limit or restrict this to 30. I guess I play this with more people as well in conferences, and yes, we were more than 30. Maybe the option that you choose, maybe, I don't know, but I can do that maybe with you later on, and we can play.
Okay, thank you, Glendita.
Okay, so that's what I do, and with this, it's not just a game. Yes, it's like I like Kahoot because the activity, the game finishes. I mean, the first exercise finishes, and you can give feedback. You can ask them, and why was this the answer? Before jumping onto the next question, why was this? Brownie points. Who tells me why the answer was the red one and not the blue one? So brownie points here. So your extra points. Yes. And it's because it's not just like, okay, next and next and next and next, just for the sake of being fast and you win, but without knowing why the answer was that. So I always ask them to tell me why, and why was this, and who knows, or in the chat box. If you don't want to speak in the chat box, I have my chat box. It's like crazy because everybody knows that I love seeing the chat box with people typing, and they type this because And I always take notes. I always have a notebook next to me, writing who was participating, and try to do something very quick and take notes of who was participating. Yes, and then I thank them. Yes, that's the answer. And who wants to speak, because not everybody wants to speak in front of a camera, but they don't need to turn on their cameras. I am not very fussy about that. And that's it. And then we finish this, and of course there are the first place, second place, and with this I also, the Kahoot sends me a report, and I can see which was the most difficult question, and I can check, yeah, this was difficult. So they still don't know how to make a question in the past. They still struggle remembering this. So I try to do something about it, because that's the idea. Yes, if I want to know my learners and just have, okay, they can't do this, and just do nothing with the information I received, so then what for? So I take notes, and then I try to do something about it. Okay, so you have to know your learners with a game. Maybe you can also know your learners and like this. I love Padlet, and from time to time I have my Padlet, and as you can see, that's why I like Blackboard. They should sponsor me, because so I have my Padlets within my Blackboard. Yes, so it's not like they are lost. Oh, I have to enter to something that is separated, or it's a new thing. No, it's in the Blackboard. So you just have to like walk them through their platform, and they have to like get used to the how this is run, yes, or how you organize it. So I always, okay, I share my screen here in Lecturas y Casos in my place, in my workplace, in one of my workplaces. In Lecturas y Casos, you will find this. It says week 14. Okay, what week are we today? Week 14, the date. Okay, so open that file, and there you'll find the Padlet. So for example, when we were doing this ED and ING, and I had this Padlet, and everybody was writing and the answers. Yes, they had an exercise to complete. And then also I love Padlet because it allows me to check everybody everybody's in one place, and I can check simultaneously what they are writing, where they are, and because I won't be able to listen to 28 people, to 38 people, and I won't be able to make them participate. But with a Padlet, I can, and they can see, and everybody is participating. Yes, so that's why I love it. And here I have like feedback. Yes, and they only see what they are writing. Yes, and so then I also get feedback from here, and we are still talking about knowing your learners. So it's not only knowing the learner as a human being, but also knowing how they are achieving the aims, the objectives that we have in this session. And of course, there is also formal assessment, which could be in the form of a quiz. Yes. Something quick, yes, quizzes, 15 minutes, and I open this so they have so something more formal, yes, and we design this. We are teams at Lima. We work with teams, and we that's very, very important also to have a team, and this team splits the work. Okay, so I'll be in charge of unit 7. Okay, so I'll do this quiz. Okay, I'll do this quiz, and everybody helps, and then we have a quiz that we can like share, or we can have a large pool, yes, where we write different questions, and then when we have this quiz, not everybody has the same questions. So we enrich it by the contributions of all the teachers that were making this, and then that's a formal way to check our students' performance. Yes, and I know, yes, firsthand how they are doing. Yes, and what needs to be reinforced. And it's also, if you have also possible, or if you have a tool that you like, you can also ask them. Yes, ask them. I also, as Jaime said, and one of the things I like also, I try to find ways to give them a voice. I feel it's important that my students have a voice and have choices. So for example, for the final exam, I ran this survey, Well, it's just one question, yes, because I'm not going to spend my precious time, well, that's my belief, running 5, 6 questions within the class. No, it's just one question. This is the question. Okay, let's vote. Yes, would you like to see your final exam as one block with all the options visible, or in 4 separate parts? So I was negotiating, I was like asking them what they wanted to have, the layout of the exam. Yes, because if you have a platform, I don't know, a Canvas or a Moodle, sometimes they give you options and you can present the exam as one thing, or you can divide it into separate things. Yes, so I was trying to see what they thought. So you can ask them. Why not asking our students? Okay, any questions, any comments, please?
No questions, right? No.
I have a comment.
Mm-hmm.
Glenda, I find all the activities that you have mentioned very engaging for the students, for the benefit of the students, because we need to know that they are with us every
Yes,
single minute of our class. Well
absolutely.
done.
My star in my forehead. My brownie points.
Your brownie
Brownie
point.
points, please. The real ones, the brownies. Okay, thank you, Ruben. I have in mind, I have to know them. I tell them, literally, I need to feel you are connected. Chat box, show me you are here with me. If I had the Zoom, I would be asking them, please give me a like, thumbs up, hearts, whatever, but show me you are here listening. Yes, so I always encourage them to use a chat box. My chat box is always like crazy, and that's why maybe some people say, but the students don't turn on the cameras and blah, 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 blah. I say, I don't worry, because my chat box is always like people writing like crazy, because I encourage that. And they know that then they will see the points, yes, for doing that. Yes. And of course, it's also very important, their self-assessments, yes. And you know them and you help them to know themselves by asking them. Yes, and it could be like, I don't know, I'm talking about from the point of view of a university teacher. I teach undergraduates. I didn't remark that very well at the beginning, maybe. So, but you can adapt this to your level, yes, and that's what I invite you to do. Adapt it, yes. See what works for you, what could work with your students, and give it a go. Let's see what happens, and you can adapt things. So here I have emojis, and then or ask them directly, yes, how would you rate your knowledge of this? Yes, number 4, number 3, yes, and in the chat box I ask them, okay, 4, 3, 2, or 1, and everybody starts everybody starts like 4, 4, 4, 4, 3, 3, 3, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So I say, are you teasing me? And someone I say, no, miss, this is difficult. And I don't know, maybe it's my students, but I feel they are very honest, and they say, no, we want more examples, or we want more of this. And then I use this information to redo things if it's necessary, yes. And try to help them learn, because that's my main goal, that they speak English. If they speak English, I feel so happy, and I want them to speak English, and I do want them to do it well, yes, because I feel this is so beneficial. And I really I'm worried that they have to learn. They are going to learn. They need, and I do what I can to help them. All right, so so you can do this, and that's it. Now, another of my beliefs is that, okay, so we need to know the learners, but we also need to ensure student-centered instruction. Of course, this is like maybe your topic, because we are not in one-to-one classes, but still, I feel it's important that it's them. Yes, they are the center of my attention. Are you familiar with this cartoon?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the teacher. What is this teacher saying? Do you remember? Because there is an exam today. But what is this?
Claim the tree.
Yes, very good, Emily. Good. Yes, that's it. Yes.
She's from Piura. She's from Piura.
Point for Piura. Yes. Point for Piura. Yes, that's it. So, and so how? I mean, can you see this? For a fair selection, everybody has to take the same exam. Please climb that tree. What's that? So, food for thought. What's this about? Any comments?
I think we have to adapt our exercises or activities, that we have to think that we have a great variety of different types of students with different talents and different weaknesses. And it's not fair to work only on one type, because not everybody will have the same chance to participate for everything.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I agree. I agree with that. Yes, and that's something that I have to remind, especially when some years ago I didn't see it. I didn't get it because it was more practical for me just to do one thing, whatever. But now I am very aware of this, and this caption helps me remember. No, there are different people here, and it's not one size fits all. Yes. So I work a lot like, no, I have to do something. How else can I present this? What else can I do here? How else can I reinvent myself as well? Yes, so we are different. And this sweet lady who I admire a lot, Carol Ann Tomilson, she's written a lot about differentiation. So what is differentiation? It's simply a teacher attending to the learning needs of a particular student or small groups of students, rather than teaching a class as though all individuals in it were basically alike. So we need to attend to the learning needs. Yes, and that's why, first of all, we need to know our learners. What are their needs? Are they making progress? Maybe they are not making progress and they're struggling. Of course, it's not, sometimes we just, it's out of the reach of our hands. I mean, to be with them, with every single student, but there must be something we can do to help them. Yes, and that's why it's also important, the communication. Yes, when you teach online, communication is vital. Emails, reminders, lots of communication, and in class to try to be there, be mindful. I'm here in my class, and really be there. When you send them to breakout rooms, see what's happening in the breakout rooms and take notes of that. Yes, I always have my Word document open next to my screen. Anything, I type like crazy. But of course, I have gained experience doing that. At the beginning, I was not like that, but now I can do that. So I can like teach and have the Word document open and type as they are speaking. And then I have like notes that I can share to give them feedback. Okay, so that's what Carol Ann Tomilson says. And now this also goes to the learning preferences. Yes, and that's something that I learned this year, that there are no learning styles. Yes, I was like, oh no, I have been using this word for such a long time. And then I came across an article where they were debunking the theories, many myths, and one of them was about the learning styles. So there are no learning styles. What we have are learning preferences. We have study preferences. Yes, that's what the article said. I said, how is that? And it was very interesting. I'll share the article with you at the end. You should read it. It's amazing. It's amazing. You will love it. And well, the person that wrote about this is Maine, and this article appeared in 2016. And he says there's no evidence. Yes, there's no evidence that a person will intrinsically learn any better or any more by learning in a certain style. Yes, while study preferences certainly exist, those preferences don't reflect a fundamentally different way of learning. Yes, you learn, I mean, everybody learns the same way. The brain works the same way for everybody. The connection here, the neurons, it's the same way, yes? At the end of the day, our brains don't store information according to a dominant style. We store information in the way it is presented to us. And he talks about eating, and he compares that, yes, when we eat, yes, the stomach works the same way for everybody. The food gets here, and then we digest it, it goes to our stomach, all the process is the same because we are human beings. So there are different, I mean, I have food preferences, I have kinds of food, I like where to eat the food, but in the end, it's a preference, it's not a style what helps me learn. I process information, as I said, if it's not about the style, it's not, that is wrong, it's you have preferences, but in the end, your brain will do the work. If it's listening, your ears will work the same for you, for me, I mean, because it's a system that is like that. Yes, and that was like eye-opening to me, and I was like, wow, yes. And sometimes I don't know, I believe, yeah, that he's right. So it was just a myth.
Glenda, this is an interesting point because my understanding was that there are styles. I'm a visual learner, I'm a kinesthetic learner, you know, and I understood that there were styles, but they are preferences based on how the person prefers to learn.
Yeah? Yes, Raj. Yes, and I was like, oh my God. It was like mind-blowing when I read this and I found out that it was not a style. I said, yes, it's right. It's right. It's not it's a preference in the end. Yes, the brain works the same for everybody. And the analogy of comparing it with food was like, yeah, it's right.
I think if it's a preference, we tend to develop that preference, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes, we develop it depending on our backgrounds, and of course, this helps us. Having a preference helps us learn, but in the end, the learning happens. It's just learning. It's not a style. It's the learning taking place. And because of this, yes, because there are, of course, if there are, you tell me, okay, no, there are no styles, so then should I just forget about auditory and kinesthetic and all that? No, I'm just telling you this, that we, to know the difference, but we have to find ways to add variety to our classes. And that's when the preferences come into play. Yes, how can I add how can I add variety to my classes? Doing something that is auditory. Yes, like for example, lyrics training. I use a lot of lyrics training too. And my students post their results because I also have taught them how to do that. And so, because at the end, I carried out a survey, and number one, lyrics training. Many of them liked it very much, and they said they will be using it now after the semester has finished. They say, wow. So it worked. It worked. And so, and also, as I showed you in the picture, yes. So if I want a student-centered class, I need to give them a voice and a choice. And it could be something simple like this, proposing a writing, but giving them choices. Yes, because I mean, all of us have our preferences. Maybe you feel more comfortable talking about your last holiday or vacation, or maybe your first day at university, or maybe your last trip, your best birthday party. So here you have choices. And not just like write about this because the book says just this. You are the leader. You know your context. Yes. And so I don't stick to the book. I don't. I never have. So here I have an example of the writing. But as again, I mentioned your preference. It's experience. With time, you and having this awareness that everybody is different and we have preferences. Why not giving them a choice here? Yes, in the writing, for example. And So this is in my Blackboard, as you can see. And also, depending on the level you teach, I learned this, I took this exercise from the WhatsApp group we have, yes, here in the community with Jaime and Kahima's international meetings. And someone posted this and I said, yes, this is very useful. I haven't used it yet because this is post reading. And of course, again, going back to choices, going back to the autonomy, yes, and going to your preferences. So if you like, maybe you're more kinesthetic, why not asking you maybe to make a video? If you like writing, why not asking you to write a poem, or maybe to, I don't know, if you're more creative, to design a puzzle, yes, or to be the DJ, yes. So giving them choices. And this came after a reading, an article, but it all depends on your level, your students' level, yes, and what they know. And of course, this is a lot. You don't have to put like, oh, 10, 20 choices. That's maybe too much. Yes, but this is just, I'm giving you this so that you can see that you can do something, and we can, and I think we should give our students choices. What I do use are the choice boards, yes? And sometimes, well, here I have this with 3, 6, 7, 8 ideas where they can choose from. And sometimes I hated this because I know they are going to write different here and different there, and no, they are going to do this and more work. Yeah, perhaps, but you don't need to do this every single task, yes? And with all the groups doing this, no, they will be crazy. You can do this with, maybe try it with one of your groups. Yes, what I'm telling you is not like happening in all the classes, all the writings that there are, or all the videos I have to make, but see when it can work, because it's also like you need your time, right, to check different things. So choice boards. And what else? And as I said, going back to what I showed you at the beginning, so ensure student-centered instruction. If I want to ensure this, it's also very important. Can you see this? What do you think I mean by this picture?
Teamwork.
Teamwork, yes. And as you can see, it could be pairs, it could be threes, it could be in fours. So you have to see what works for you. Because as Tomilson said, in a differentiated classroom, the teacher uses many different group configurations over time, and students experience many different working groups and arrangements. Yes, so we need to do something about this, and well, take risks. Yes, I didn't know much about Blackboard until recently, that now I have like, but I was like, we were all forced into this situation, and I said, no, yes, what else can I do? I need to exploit my platform. What else does it have? What else can I do? And I started like finding things, how I could do this, yes, group settings and configurations. This is an example of an activity, and here, as you can see, student A and student B. So pair work, yes, this is one of the options to make them work in pairs. Here they have like the questions, and as you can see, like little by little, they have like the first 3, but the 4th, it's their question. Yes, I gave you 3, now you come with the 4th question. And the same here, just like to pave the path. Yes, now you come up with a question. I like using the language banks a lot. Yes, to remind them of language. Sometimes they use it, sometimes they forget about it. But there they are, and I have to insist on that. Yes, when I give them feedback, okay, and what about this? Did you use this? And some of them are very, very aware of this, and when I don't know, maybe because they see me, or well, they don't see me, but they know I'm there because I visit their breakout rooms, and I don't turn on my microphone or my webcam, but I just appear there suddenly. And so I hear them using this and I say, wow, so they are using it. They are actually putting into practice this language. Yes. And of course, you need to indicate very well the time. Yes. How much time are you going to have to do this? Yes. And then they come back to the main room. Yes. And so this is in pairs. And another thing after that, they come back to the main room to share something very quick. Yes, after this conversation, what did you learn? What does your classmate think? Yes, and 5 minutes. Sometimes everybody wants to participate. Yes, like, and I take notes. Okay, in the next one, I'm gonna call you. Yes, I'm gonna call you. Yes, I thank you. I always thank them. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I saw your hand up, but I have to choose the first people that raise their hands. But I have your names here. I saw you were willing to tell me something. Yes, and I tell them. So share. And of course, you can use, if your platform allows it, or you have another way to do that, you can have forums, you can have a blog. Yes, and I always like give this into parts, like the instructions, and you have to show them this in the session. When they are with you, you have to like walk them through the activity. Here it is. Can you see it? Yes, 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 yes. Okay, what does it say? Let's read. Let's understand this. Until, okay, you have to, you have to ask concept check questions. Yes, concept check questions. A lot of concept check questions. Just like, okay, are you going to do this in pairs? Yes, no. What are you going to write about your mother? No. About your last vacation? No. Okay, so what is this about? Pets. I don't have a pet. And if you don't have a pet, you don't do the homework? No. What are you going to do? You have to, I don't know, I tell them, you go to Google, find a pet you like, I don't know, and write something about this. Yes. And again, here, the sense of community. Yes. Again, like reading each other, because in the class, the 28, the 30, the students you have, don't have the time to know each other. And I do my best, but it's of course impossible to have like that all of them, I mean, in 1 hour and 2 hours, but interact with each other. But I do take notes, and I said, okay, this person has already worked with this person, this one has already worked with this, and I try to organize them so that they at the end have had the chance to work with all their classmates. But that's a lot of work too. But I try to do that. Yes, I take notes. Okay, you with you, you with you, you with you, and I set the pairs. But here, this is free. This is the chance they have outside the class to read each other and also to connect with their peers. Yes. And of course, now what do you think this is?
Little Glenda when she was a little baby, little girl.
That's my mini me. Okay, any other guesses?
Exactly.
Thank you, Jaime. What is this? Is no ideas?
A scene from a short film.
It's like a Disney movie.
Yes. Someone said a film. Yes, it is a film. It is a film. Yes. Have you seen this film? This one. It's not a what? It's a, how do you say, a corto? How is that? Do you know how to say corto?
Short film. Short film.
A short.
A short film.
Oh, okay. Marlene Preciosa, you're there. Just seen you.
Yeah.
Marlene, I called you 2 days ago.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, but I didn't find you. Okay, sorry. I'm just
watch the film together. You told her to watch the film together.
Yeah, maybe. No.
In which the girl looks like she's fascinated, like she's very surprised by something that she's seeing.
Very good. Yes, and this is something that I have used to create a group work activity. And let me share it with you, so maybe you can use it if you are still working. I don't know. I have already finished the session, my classes. So, but I did this with my students. Okay, so Marlene must remember because Marlene has also worked this with me. Can you see my screen? Can you see this?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay, great.
I'm sorry if it's all too much. Every day you hear I'm healing, and I was running out of love. I never thought I'd find this feeling, 'cause I've been hearing symphonies. Before all I heard was silence, a rhapsody for you and me.
Okay, so
When you won the Oscar, Marianne, for Edith
how do
Piaf
you
in
think
The Younger
I
Ones, it's
used this
amazing performance.
activity? Or what would you use it for?
For the Father's Day.
Oh, yes. You see, that's very nice. My students in the chat box, I remember that the days I've used this twice, and they were like, some of them like, crying on the emojis, people crying like hearts. And so I made them see this just once, and depending on the group, you can show them the subtitles or just play this. It's very short and sweet, yes. And I had this activity to work in groups. And I use this, yes, this is my Blackboard. So I created the groups, yes. And I sometimes I choose, I use the Blackboard just to help me organize the groups, but I also sometimes ask them to move into the group they want to belong to, yes. And it's a bit crazy, but I have also to give them a choice. Okay, where do you want to start? Okay, do you want to go to group 1, 2, 3? Tell me, and then they jump to the group. Sometimes they can't jump, and I have to move them, but then it's fun. And this is what I did, the supporting act. Yes, so that's the name of the I forgot the word again. But here is what I created after watching this. So I had this exercise because we have been working on with past simple and ed and ing adjectives. So I wrote this, and they had to complete this in groups of 3, and they had 20 minutes, and they had to write, to participate, to collaborate. Yes, and then I visit every group, and I took pictures of what they had completed, and then I shared that in the main room, and we compared answers. So this is another way to give them, it's them, they are the ones that have to use the language. They are the ones that have to learn this. And this is a moment also to share, because they can teach each other things, they can learn from each other. Yes, so I designed this activity, and then they were sent to the breakout rooms to work on this, and then we compare the answers. So that's another activity that you can do in groups, but it's up to you. You can have, depending on how many students you have, groups of 4, groups of 3, up to 5 people. I don't recommend more than 5. And another way to change the variety, the pace of the class, is also, again, going back to the word banks, the language banks, working groups, discuss questions. Maybe in the book they always give you like a couple of questions, but just to make them produce a bit more, add your own questions. But this is good, but what about this activity? This is related to the first one. Here, the questions are, do you prefer eating out or eating at home? Do you prefer to eat alone or with other people? What are your favorite kinds of restaurants? What food do you usually eat? But now compare this. This is an activity about food, and compare this other activity, which is also about food. What do you think between the first and the second? If you compare the questions versus this, well, not versus, but it's another way to do things. Imagine that it's the end of the semester. Yes, imagine that it's the end of the semester or the school year. You can adapt everything. Work in pairs and groups, decide how to spend your budget in a meal for your class. Planning a meal for my class, date, place, number of people, style, and so on. So I believe that we need to give our students a good reason to speak. Yes, of course, it will depend a lot on where you teach, how much time you have, but whenever possible, I invite you to give them a good reason to speak. Yes, and not just go for questions. Okay, yes, go and now discuss what the teacher says. No, what about you? You using your creativity, you working, you collaborating, having a communicative goal. Yes, I think it's very important to allow our students to use their current level of English, but also stretch them to achieve the outcome. Yes, and of course, if we send our students to do something like this, yes, they need time. This can't be done in class. This has to be outside, yes, as homework. And that's also important. That's why it's important that they have a way to communicate with their groups and to coordinate when they are going to meet, when they are going to plan. And at least they should have a week to do this. Yes, and then they have to post the answer. If they've made a video, if they made a poster, whatever the task was. Yes, and well, I am a fan of Scott Thornbury, and this is what he says about speaking activities. Yes, so we need to consider, when we plan any speaking activities, we need to consider the productivity, the purposefulness, the interactivity, the challenge, safety, and authenticity. Yes, and that's what I try to do with in my groups. Yes, with my students. So whenever possible, I try to find out there has to be a purpose here. What will be the interaction? They have already worked in pairs, and now they need to work in groups. Okay, or no, they are going to do this on their own. I want to see them shine on their own. So I have to decide this. How is the interactivity going to be? And I challenge them. Yes, and also now coming to safety and authenticity, that's something that I will work a lot on. And thanks to Blackboard, yes, we have this, we can have this private mini Blackboard rooms where they can work, and it's just them. This won't be public, it's just for the teacher and for themselves. And I create this. It takes some time, but I do this, and it works very well, to have their own breakout room, their own private collaborate. Yes, so I create the groups, but of course I always have a delegate. My delegate is my right hand, and he, in this case, I had a boy that helped me organize the groups, the pairs, because in this case, this example here, it's a pair work activity where they had to make telephone conversations, and it's there. No, it's not public, it's just for this class, and it's just for me and for the students. So here I'm working on safety. It's not like it will be YouTube, and some of them are like a bit conscious that no, they're going to see me. And so we need to give them like, no, don't worry, it's in the Blackboard. You don't need to download another app or anything. It's there in your platform. So I said we have to exploit it, exploit the platform that you use. Yes, and here, as you can see, of course, I have to be in every group. So here's my name. This is my student and my other student. This was a pair work activity, and they have the collaborate, apart from the one where we meet every day. And this is open 24/7, so they can enter here whenever they want. They can coordinate, they can record the number of times they want, and then it's their work, so they have some power. Yes, and I like that. I think that's important. So they feel that this is your class. You are in charge. You're in the driver's seat. Yes. And okay, so you can plan this, as I said, depending on your group, depending on how many students you have, to be in pairs, individually. This was, for example, another activity that I did some time ago, a movie I could see again and again. You have to think about the topic. What topic could be appealing to them? Yes. And this is for speaking again, videos. Yes. This was in groups, could be in pairs, could be on their own. Yes. And who doesn't like talking about movies? Who doesn't have a movie you like, whether it is horror or science fiction, whatever, but and you have to, like, again, collaborate, coordinate what you are going to do and what movie you are going to choose and talk about. Yes. So what do you think?
Great ideas, Glenda. Thank you very much. Excellent. Yeah, I've been taking notes of everything. Yep, because then I forget. Yeah, absolutely. Very innovative. Very innovative. I hadn't thought of that. Great.
Are we in the final ideas?
Kind of. Yes, kind of.
Kind of. Okay,
yes. We will finish on time. Don't worry.
No, I don't worry.
You're the best. Love you.
I never worry.
Yes. You're sharing so much information that helps us increase engagement.
Yes, that's what I have in mind. How can I engage them? How can I make them collaborate? How can I make them feel they are part of something? That's what is in my head, in my heart. Yes, and as my favorite group, Coldplay, says, we are diamonds taking shape. Yes, and we always can improve. And this year has challenged us, everyone, the students and teachers, everyone. Yes, but I'm just thinking about this moment that I'm with you. So we are taking shape, and there is so much to learn, so much to learn. Yes, Coldplay, I love them. Of course, I talk about them in my classes as well. Yes, a big fan. And what I was mentioning again, you must have start finding, where is this leading me? The 4 C's. Yes, I do think a lot about this, and I try to do this a lot in my classes. Yes, the critical thinking, the creativity, the collaboration, and the communication. For me, this is vital. My classes have to have this. I need my students to work on this. So I push myself to find ways to give them this. And well, if you feel more, I don't know, you're a risk taker, so you can also do some PBL. Yes, I did this just once, Yes, but it doesn't require a lot, but you need to plan it and you need to see how this is going to fit. But you can still, I mean, if you have the time and the willingness, maybe try it with one of your groups, project-based learning. Yes, and I'm sure you're familiar with this, so I'm not going to spend much time, but then you will have my slides and then you can like read this and see examples. Yes, and here is the link where you can find information as well. So I feel that it's very important that we give them the purpose, as I said, the purpose, the chance to collaborate, and to become, to feel they are in a community. Yes, so well, PBL has a planning stage, yes, where you collaborate with the students, discuss the needs, the potential, the products, what we can do. The implementation stage where they do the tasks, because this is staged. Yes, PBL is staged. It cannot be like today. No, you have to do it week 1 and then week 2 and week 3. Yes, and the creation of an end product. Yes, something tangible is created, a poster, a wall display, but it goes in stages. Yes, so you feel you want to give it a go, you can do this. And this is an example. They could make a cookbook. I don't know. Yes. And again, this is connected. Everything is connected. Isn't that awesome? Yes. And again, this goes back to show this that other presenters have also talked about, yes, the importance of Bloom's taxonomy. I hated Bloom when I first heard of him because I didn't understand him. When I was a student at the IPNM, they taught me that when I was in the first year. I mean, the first year you have just left the school, gone into university, and they taught me that. I mean, it was too quick. I mean, too early, I think. I wasn't still in the mindset of a teacher. And then they talked to me about creating, evaluating, analyzing, and all the list of verbs. I was like, what is this for? I didn't get it. And then it's after seeing it, and then, oh, that's what they meant. And then I like it, of course, I love it and I use it. Yes, and I try to work always in analyzing, evaluating, creating. And not just because at the beginning, when I started teaching, I was always here, just understanding, applying. And we all, I think we all go through this, yes, and with experience, then we learn that we can go to the top and we can be here, yes, and we can be here. So little by little. And also important, just to finish, the feedback. Yes, feedback is very important. And you can give feedback to your students in the form of a message. Yes, just a very quick thing. Yes, can you see? I like putting pictures. This was a pair work activity. So just a quick note to congratulate you on your pair work video and the completion of Unit 12 in ED, for example. That's English Discoveries. It could be in the form of a recording. Yes, I have tried this recently because I said, why not? Yes, I can make a voice message, yes, and then record myself giving them some feedback on something. So that's another way to give feedback. And what else? Well, for this, I use, this is my favorite, Voice Spice. Yes, I use this recorder when I want to give feedback or want to record, or they have to record something. I like this one. And of course, I use rubrics, and the rubrics are very important. And I will also share this with you at the end. If you don't have an idea of how to make rubrics, you can use this Ruby Star that has all the rubrics for all the topics, for science, for English, for you name it. And you will have an idea of how to make your own rubrics if you still don't know how to make one. So they will give you lots of ideas. And then you just choose what is convenient, what works for your context. And this, I learned this in a presentation, in a webinar. And I do this, and I said, yeah, and it has a name, SMART. When you give feedback, it has to be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. Yes, and I say, yes, I do this. Feedback is SMART. It has to be SMART, because we cannot wait for, like, I don't know, they made a video and then after 2 weeks you give them feedback. That's too far. Yes, too late. So it has to be specific on what, on this word, on this video, on what, measurable. That's why I use the rubrics a lot. Attainable, because It's like, make this video, talk about this. So something they can do, and relevant, of course, because the idea is that it helps them. Yes, and on time, feedback on time. And of course, it's feedback. So you can also ask your students for feedback. And I did this with my group, and I asked them, and it was in Spanish, so that they don't have any problems or feel like, oh no, I have to do it in English. No, because I also need to know what worked and what didn't work. Yes, so I asked them to give me some feedback. And that's it. So my final tips and conclusions, just, you see, that's my mobile. I'm recovering the minutes, yes, just very quickly. So my last conclusions and tips. Can you read this? What will this be? Yes, just
have a
yes, have a
class,
Have a class?
delegate.
A class delegate. That's my tip. Have a class delegate. Yes, always have a class delegate, because that's your right hand. I don't know, if you make him feel like, yes, you can help me this and that, and establish very clear what are the rules. You only do this, this, and then the rest you have to write an email to the teacher. Yes, it's a delegate. And here, this is another tip.
Use an
online dictionary.
An online dictionary. Yes, have it next to you. I love a Longman dictionary because I can share with them pronunciation. They can listen to examples that are read. Yes, and then they can like hear this in context. And then another tip is
write in the chat.
Yes, use your chat box. Yes, to give instructions. In Blackboard, we don't have this that Zoom has. So I need to tell them, yes, good job. I make a countdown. Yes, 9, 8. So to tell them when they are coming back, because it's like okay, I cannot like cut the idea and then where am I? So use the chat box to indicate they are going to come back, to give them feedback, to give instructions, because sometimes we speak, but we don't. But maybe someone needs to read it, or maybe you are doing it too fast, and you are not maybe aware of that. So if you can, write things in the chat box too. Yes, and then there's another tip. Yes, what I was telling you. Take notes in a Word document. Yes, and then you copy paste in the chat box. Then you copy paste. Yes, I do this because then I copy paste it. I heard this word, the pronunciation, this thing, and then blah, I have it, and I copy paste in the chat box and then give them feedback. Sometimes just I correct them on the spot, this, and I copy paste. And my conclusions, please treat every learner, yes, treat every learner as a person. Encourage real interpersonal relationships in the classroom. Change the emphasis from being always right to understanding others and being understood despite the mistakes. Yes, because they also want to produce, but sometimes, no, this is not, no, just listen to them. Be affirming and non-evaluative towards the person who is speaking. Yes, listen to them. But of course, you have to give them feedback. But sometimes, if it's speaking, I go for, what do you want, accuracy or fluency? So if I go for fluency, I can't be stopping them. I have to let them produce to feel comfortable using the language. Yes, so at the end, you can give delayed feedback at the end of the session, at the end of the participations, and foster an atmosphere in which you and your students enjoy what is happening. Yes, that's it. Okay, so we have talked about knowing your learners. Yes, we have talked about fostering student-centered instruction, feedback, and my final tips and conclusions. And I don't know if you have any questions and answers.
More than questions, we want to thank you, Glenda, for your time, your ideas, your studies, because I'm sure that you had to study and look for information and get it together to put everything in a beautiful PowerPoint presentation that I'm sure that you will share with us, right?
Of course I will. And as I said, yes,
Would you
you're just like me. And I wish you have the strength, the resources, the social support you need to navigate the difficulties in life with ease. I wish you are free from pain and suffering. I wish you are peaceful and happy. And I wish you are loved because you are a fellow human being just like me. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank
you,
you,
Glenda.
Glenda.
Could you
Thank you,
stop
Glenda.
showing
Oh.
your? Could you stop showing your screen? You will send me or send us your presentation, right, Glenda?
I'll do that right now. Okay, let me see.
Okay. We don't have to pay anything, right?
No, no, no.
Let me
Well,
think.
okay. Could you stop sharing your screen so we can see each other?
Sure.
For
I don't
our
know how to do that. I don't know how to do that.
just go to screen,
Sí,
share,
yes.
compartir pantalla, and stop it.
Stop it.
Stop sharing.
Detener la
Just
grabación.
sharing.
Optimizar. ¿Qué pongo? Compartir. ¿Qué dice? Ocultar panel de video. Ocultar, inhabilitar información de la reunión, detener grabación, pausar la grabación, optimizar. ¿Dónde está eso? Dejar. ¡Ah! Está en rojo. Ya. Yeah. I found it. Yes.
Well, thank you very much, Glenda. As usual, some ideas that everybody has got from you. The classroom is a community, is a family. Teachers and students are human beings, so we are not superior, they are not inferiors. If they feel, if we feel, they also feel. If they are happy or sad, we are also happy and sad. Preferences, very good. We have to pay attention to the students' preferences, but also to our preferences as the students, why we want to teach that way. Then giving students choices, get students engaged. I was wondering why people get engaged after they are boyfriend and girlfriend. Why do they get engaged? Because they have the same objective in mind, right? So that is what I suppose the students have to get, the same objective that we as teachers have. And then feedback, I agree with you, but also asking the students to give us feedback. And we don't have to be afraid of reading what we know. And the most important, enjoy. Enjoy.
Yes.
You enjoy it, let the students enjoy it.
Exactly.
So thank you very much, Glenda, Raj, Roxy, Marlene Reyes, Marisol Gonzalez, Rubén Garcia, Emily Macias, Marisa, Huacho, and Tania. 869 people were following us in Facebook Live, Glenda. Really? 869. And many people were saying, really? I'm also surprised. So,
in the chat box, I have shared the link to my Padlet, where you are going to find the PDF of this presentation and other resources. Yes, I talked about this book I love, which is the 6 Principles. You are going to find a PDF of the 6 Principles, but well, it's not all the book, but it has the main ideas. And I also talked about feedback, and you're going to find the videos where this sweet lady talks about smart feedback. And well, you have to watch it. And also I have shared other things. If you open it, can you just make sure that the Padlet is working, because I have to set it to public. And in the chat box, you have the link. And
Yes.
if you can see it, then okay, yes, great. So it's working. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm happy. So happy Sunday. Happy Sunday, everybody.
yes, as I told you before, Glenda, before this presentation, I have to do the shopping just like Ruben. I had to do the cooking.
Just like me.
Just like everybody else. Thank you so much, and see you next Sunday.
Hugs, everybody.
Hugs to everyone.
And Merry Christmas. If I don't see you, I don't know.
Bye.
Oh,
Thank
you
you.
have to see us.
You have to see us. Very good.
Yes.
My little eyes, okay.
No matter
Glenda.
on the
Next
air,
Sunday.
wherever you are.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you very
Bye.
much.
Thanks
Bye-bye.
a lot.
Thank you.